What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. It was an interesting week last week when Nigeria and the UK got in the ring and they were like, cha-cha-cha. It was a very interesting karate session. The whole thing started when UK's Prime Minister David Cameron said some interesting things about Nigeria.
Nigerians, we've actually got some leaders of some fantastically corrupt countries coming to Britain. Nigeria and Afghanistan, possibly the two most corrupt countries in the world.
About us behind our back. You can't be in that kind of position and not understand the fact that anything you say can become news. So Nigerians are upset on Facebook, on Twitter, on Insta, everywhere. People were like, we demand an apology. And Nigerians were not disappointed when our president Muhammadu Buhari responded.
I'm not going to demand any apology from anybody. What I am demanding is the return of assets. What would I do with apology? I need something tangible.
Yeah, so that is my president. Mr. President, print. You see, he called me before he made that statement, asking what he should say, and I'm just kidding anyway. But he didn't call me, but I'm still on speed dial. You understand, Mr. President? Everybody in Nigeria was so happy. I like the fact that he agreed that yes, Nigeria is a corrupt country. Everybody knows that. I talked about that on this show all the time. But I also appreciate the fact that he said he's not really concerned about apology. I love that. Now apology we go chop, but he's more concerned about getting something tangible in return. Just return all the money that people have stolen from Nigeria that they are keeping in the UK. God bless you, Jare Mayoga. So first of all, I don't think that we can be relying on countries like this for aid and not expect to take insults from them every now and then, which is why I keep saying that we need to stop relying on foreign aid, because the hand that feeds you controls you. Second of all, to me, it's a case of the kettle calling the pot black, because Cameron himself is not a saint. His father was named in the Panama Papers that came out recently, and he himself admitted to benefiting from it. Besides, a good percentage of the money stolen from Nigeria is successfully hidden in the UK, and he knows about it. In fact, Buhari himself named one of those cases. I'm talking about James Ibori, the former governor of Delta State. When Ibori was laundering millions of dollars into UK illegally, they did not say anything. In fact, when he paid $3.2 million for this mansion in London, they collected the money. They didn't have any problem with it, not to talk about all the fancy cars and properties that he acquired in UK. Then when Nigerians started shouting that, oh, you are protecting criminals, that was when they arrested him. And I think they gave back some of the money, but they didn't give back all the money. The UK court froze Ibori's asset valued at about 17 million pounds. That is at least $35 million. And they know that this money belongs to Nigeria. Do you know what that money will do in Nigeria right now with how tight everything is? Untowo wants a lot of work. In fact, what am I saying? The other time they seized $27,000 from Alice Madueke. Why is Madueke still in London, by the way? I mean, is it that they don't know that we want her in Nigeria? We want her and that $20 billion. So they collected the $27,000. Where is the money? UK also seized £1 million cash from Alamesia. Did they give back some of it? Not only that, Alamesia's estate in London is worth about £10 million. They seized that one too, and then they said they found $3.2 million in his account. In 1983, or was it 1984, Umar Rudiko ran to London and he settled in London. These people did not have any problem with that. What happened to that money since 1984 and UK? It seems to be like you enjoy letting thieves bring money to your country so that you can later seize it, and when you give it back, you don't always give everything. And just between 1960 and 2013, you guys know that Nigeria alone lost about $500 billion to corruption. That is about 75 trillion naira. A huge percentage of that money was taken abroad. And don't tell me that part of it was not brought to UK. And keep in mind that Nigerian politicians are not the only ones that are hiding money in London. I've talked about how they seized millions of dollars worth of properties from leaders of Gabon, Equatorial Guinea. And of course, I'm not saying that Nigeria is not corrupt, because I talk about that on my show. But I just don't think that it's diplomatic for you to invite people to your country to come and talk about how to fight corruption. This whole thing was supposed to be anti-corruption summit. And then you make fun of the same people while they are on their way to honor your invitation. Haba, it's not correct. Which makes me wonder whether they are truly trying to help us. But again, maybe this is what we need to get us to be serious about fighting corruption in Nigeria. Which is why I don't understand what somebody like Dino is doing at the anti-corruption. I don't know. So I suddenly had stomach upset when I saw that he said tweet and he's now in London. I said, hey, there must be a mistake somewhere. I've been saying it for a long time that the whole world is laughing at us. As you guys can now see, they are literally laughing at Nigeria when they talk about corruption. Anyway, you guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So while I'm very proud of Buhari's response. You know, in UK and all Nigerians are very happy. I just like to bring us back to reality. So back to reality. The reality on ground is that people are suffering. Nigerians are suffering. There is no electricity. I've been saying this. I'm not talking about losing power for some hours. People literally don't have electricity for weeks now. In fact, it's so bad that some Nigerian celebrities are now speaking out. Even the celebrities don't have power. So now they are being forced to say something. And already everything is expensive. Everything. On top of that, they now decided to remove subsidy. Why is it that when you not remove subsidy, we were outside protesting? Now that it is Oga Buhari, nobody is protesting. I don't get it. No matter what you believe about this fuel subsidy thing, because I know that some people are saying, oh, it's a good move so that oil marketers would no longer be paid. No matter what you believe, and I know that the vice president also came out with his own statement about why they have to remove subsidy, but no matter what you believe, the truth of the matter is it is the common people that are being punished. Yes, so why are people not protesting? Hey, Jomi, how do you increase the price of fuel from 84 naira to 145 naira, and you did not increase the minimum wage? Minimum wage is still 18,000 naira. The 5,000 that you promised unemployed graduates, you did not pay them. Those that are working day and night, night and day, people are getting 18,000 naira. Does that even make sense? I don't know. You want people to start stealing now, or you want people to start borrowing? I don't know how you want people to survive. How do you expect people to survive? Is this even realistic? Everybody knows that with the increase in fuel price, the price of food goes up. The price of everything goes up. The most ridiculous thing is that millions of workers in 26 states have not been paid in months. Okay, I don't know if you guys understand. Those of you that are watching me from outside Nigeria, just put yourself in this position. How many of you will keep going to work every day for 2 months if you are not getting your paycheck? Who can endure that? When you have bills to pay, we have bills to pay. So people back home, they have bills to pay, and they have to survive, and they have to take care of their children, and they're not getting paid. Depending on where you work, some people have not been paid for 2 months. The average is like 6 months. So when I'm talking about the states, don't think that I'm generalizing that this is how much they've not paid everybody. But I'm talking about primary school workers, secondary school teachers, health workers, civil servants. Keep in mind that Buhari has released billions of naira, 999 billion naira bailout for governors to pay salaries. So I don't know why these governors are not paying the salaries. So many of these governors are thieves. People know that sometimes what they do is they will put the money in the bank for some months so that it can acquire interest. This interest comes in millions of naira. So they make millions of naira off of their own people in interest. You know that the governor of Ekiti State is constructing a 10 billion naira flyover right now, and he's owing workers and pensioners between 5 and 6 months of salary, depending on where you work. Some people 2 months, some people 6 months. I'm just talking about the average. I know that Fayoshe has a problem. I didn't know that misplaced priority is also part of his problem. Like, really? Like, who is advising this man? Flyover. Now, flyover we go chop. When people have not eaten, they are not able to pay their children's school fees. What's in the worry am? Seriously. I heard that Kwara State is also owing about 6 months of salaries. Some people, they are owing them 2 months. And they've not paid pensioners as well. Yet, this same Kwara State had no problem paying Bukola Saraki full governor's salary as well as full pension for 4 years after his tenure of Kwara State. Why now? Workers and pensioners in Kaduna State have also not been paid for about 7 months. Hey! When I heard this, I said, hey, their governor is busy regulating religious organizations, issuing them licenses for them to preach. I know that this is a topic for another day, but really, is this even legal? And why is that a priority now when people are not getting paid their hard-earned salary? Plateau State, I heard that they are owing about 8 months. Hey, 8 months. Council workers, 4 months as well. Haba, there is God now. In Ondo State, they said that civil servants have not been paid for 5 months. And then pensioners have not been paid for 4 months. Haba, how do you want these people to survive? I don't know. You know that Osun State has unpaid outstanding salaries since July of last year. July, August, September. Hey, people are suffering. People are suffering. Do you know that last year, at least 238 pensioners died in Osun State because they were not paid their pension and they had no other means of survival? I mean, I can go on and on. People are literally dying. People are dying. And please, if this doesn't affect you, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. People are dying. They are dying of hunger. Imagine going to work every day now for 6 months. That is half of a year. They're not getting paid for all your hard work. Meanwhile, these people have little children that they have to take care of. So you you know why I'm upset? Because it is in the middle of all this that Buhari decided to punish the masses by increasing fuel price. Instead of punishing the masses for the sins of those who stole our money, why don't we expedite the cases of the thieves and get our money back? Why are we prolonging the cases of the thieves now? Look at Bukola Saraki of Kwara State, for example. Do you guys know that we've been on this case since September of last year? September, October, no, that is 9 months. 9 months on one case. Exactly when would they finish Saraki's case? And did we ever conclude Dasuki Gates? No, we've not concluded Dasuki Gates. That one is still in court as well. Again, if this was an unemployed graduate or a nobody, they would have finished their case within 1 week. In fact, one hearing, they would have sentenced them. Why? Why are we doing this when it is the big people that have stolen money? And you know, it's very sad because as the hardship continues to rise, things are falling apart. Nigeria is now dealing with all kinds of factions. There are people that want their own country. Biafrans want their own country. On top of that, we have Boko Haram terrorizing people. We have the Niger Delta militants bombing pipelines. Now we have another militant, that is the Niger Delta Avengers. This is a new group bombing major oil pipelines left and right. They said that they are protecting Tompolo, who is currently wanted by the EFCC. Although Tompolo came out and said he did not send them, the Nigerian government has seized Tompolo's worship and he's still in hiding. So they said that they are protecting Tompolo's interests, but he said he doesn't know them. But between March 31st and now, Nigeria has generated 0 megawatts. 3 times, as in total blackout throughout the country. This is a country of 180 million people. 3 different times we've generated 0 megawatts in the whole country. By the way, there is no other country on earth, no matter how poor, even during war, there is no other country on earth that has generated 0 megawatt of electricity except Nigeria. This happened because the new militants, that is the Avengers, blew up pipelines supplying fuel to the power plants. So from what I read, 12 power plants presently do not generate any megawatts in Nigeria. Hey, how do we survive? So if I can advise Mr. President, instead of trying to use force, to win all these factions, because if you kill them, their children will grow up to take revenge. I mean, just look at my Biafran people as an example. So many of the people that identify themselves as Biafrans right now were either not alive when the war happened or they were young at the time, but they heard stories. I'm trying to say that if you kill people, their children will grow up, they will take revenge. I don't think killing or using force is the solution right now. I think that Buhari needs a different approach. And another thing that I like to say is that I hate the fact that it is usually when Buhari goes out of the country that he grants meaningful interviews. Why is it that we hear the breaking news from CNN, from BBC, why are you not granting your own Nigerian media exclusive interviews? In fact, a responsible government, every week you should have some kind of briefing with the media, some kind of press conference every week. Making me upset? Don't make me upset, Mr. President. Just get yourself together. You guys not doing anything. Guess what? I'm just keeping it true. So before I leave today, I like to read an email. This is a very, very sad email from a viewer by the name Dolakwa Babalola. It's a very long email, but to cut it short, her aunt by the name Professor Mosun Obidike had just returned from the US on April 25th when she was sick. So they took her to her doctor at Jaja Hospital at the University of Ibadan. But when they got there, she was transported via an ambulance to UCH due to inadequate supply of oxygen and the severity of her respiratory distress. I don't understand how the hospital would not have oxygen. Now, the upsetting thing is finding out that when they took her to UCH, they insisted that her family members must go and do registration and make the payments before they would attend to her. And then I was told that the registration line was so long, her family members were still in line trying to make the payment when this woman passed away. So when I heard this, I contacted a doctor in Nigeria just to confirm if it's true that hospitals would make you make the payment before they will attend to you. And they told me that that's true. I was so shocked because I'm like, but this is an emergency case. You guys have no idea how many Nigerians have died because doctors are insisting that they have to make payments before they would attend to them. For how long? For how long do we have to do this in Nigeria? I don't know what else to say on this show. I've talked about this several times. When it comes to issues of life and death, saving people's lives should always be priority. This woman died because of oxygen. I'm really hoping that somebody from UCH is watching this. I don't expect UCH to be doing this. I don't expect Luth, all these hospitals with big names. Like seriously, I don't expect them to still be doing this in 2016. The whole family right now is in disarray, like what just happened to us. And money was not the problem for these people, but the hospital insisted they had to make the payment before they would treat them. Please accept my sincere condolences. I can't imagine what you guys are going through right now because it doesn't make any sense at all. The whole health system in Nigeria is messed up. I just hope that someday we can come out of this. Please keep sending your emails to adeola.keepingitreal@gmail.com. So before I sign out, I wanted to apologize to all the feminists that watch my show, because last week I talked about a story and I didn't do justice. I talked about the story of the lady that they put up her sex tape in Ghana. I talked about how the guy violated her privacy rights, but I didn't talk about the fact that they should arrest him and teach him a lesson. I actually meant that in May, but I didn't say it. So the feminists came after me. They were like, Adeola, how dare you not talk about it? It's not the girl's fault, this, that. Yes, I hope that Ghana will not let the guy go scot-free. I hope they arrest him. I hope they teach him a lesson so that all these other young boys will not think that they can do that and get away with it. And no, I did not imply that it's the girl's fault. No, I still stand my ground that women shouldn't be sleeping with guys that they are not married to because of instances like this. But I wasn't in any way implying that it's the girl's fault. No, not at all. So you guys know I'm a feminist, so I definitely support that he should be arrested. You guys know I'm always supporting women. Alright guys, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next week, I'm gonna see you all later. Peace out.